Hello, Afri.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Great. Hmm. Hello, Kanak.
Who is 1 plus repeat
That
2381, sir?
that the police wali girl.
Oh,
Yes, Sandhya. How does that sound? Intimidating. Intimidating. What does that mean? Scary? Scary, scary. Something that scares you is intimidating. Something that makes you feel you cannot defeat, overcome, then that thing is intimidating. Something that you cannot overpower is intimidating. For example, for a small child, his father's height and personality for a small child, okay? For a 5-year-old child, for a 4-year-old child, his father's height and body, personality, the appearance can be intimidating. If a father shouts at his son will not be totally scared, intimidated. But if the same father shouts at his young son, who is just 5 years old, then that son will be totally intimidated. He will be totally scared. He will not realize, he will not think that he can, handle this. He can handle his father. He thinks that he might be beaten, he might get hurt. So that's when you are intimidated, you have that feeling that you cannot win, you cannot overpower, you cannot defeat this thing or person, intimidating. That gives you a feeling of nervousness. Okay. So uh, when I say the police wali, then that's intimidating for some people. I know not you guys, but normally when I teach you
no, sir.
vocabulary, yes, yes, Afi.
He's my friend, sir.
I know, I know. I'm joking when I say these things. And in the joke, I try and use some words that you might like learning, that's the whole purpose. Sandhya is such a nice girl and so friendly,
Yes,
um,
sir.
so soft spoken. So I was saying that the thing is about my teaching that students who follow my language can learn more from me. I'm talking about the technical stuff, vocabulary and stuff. Um, I just use the word intimidating and explain what it means. Okay, so to understand what intimidating means, Somebody has to understand my words because I'm not speaking the mother tongue of my students. I'm speaking English, the language that they're trying to learn. So it's a bit challenging, but a real benefit lies in this. No problem.
Good
Hello.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Rajiv. Long time no see. Are you all right?
Yes, sir. I am fine, sir.
Okay. What was the reason you were absent for so long?
Um, I was absent someday because my back pain is rise.
Hmm. Okay, your back pain return, right? Okay, give me a second. Some teachers have an intimidating personality. When they come into the class, the students become quiet. They don't take chances with that teacher. And they don't do any naughty things. They don't misbehave in that teacher's class. Some teachers have a very friendly personality. The students feel more comfortable in their such teachers' class, and they make jokes as well. And some teachers are not friendly; they are simply incompetent, and the students do not have much respect for them. The students don't really take them very seriously. So understand, you will have all kinds of teachers in your school and colleges, right? Some have intimidating personalities, some have a very friendly personality. Okay, depends. And intimidating is an adjective. Intimidate is the verb. Intimidating, intimidated, ing, ed adjective. New vocabulary, but this old idea, okay? Don't try to intimidate me. China tries to intimidate India, that, if India does not listen to China, China is a superpower and European countries will not come to defend India, you know. So China tries to intimidate India. China tries to scare India, okay. Now, we are starting, we have already started the lesson in a way. Um, we learned a new word, intimidate, intimidating, intimidated. This was your homework as well. And I see that you guys have done something in the group. Let's see. Yes, Afreed, Rukhsar is learning, and you can notice that. Hmm. Okay. Rukhsar, you're not here, but when you watch the recording, this message is for you. Uh, Script means writing. Okay, script is writing. Script, and that's why we have the word scripture. The scripture are those books which we believe, have been written by Almighty. Okay, divine, those scriptures. So scriptures comes from script. Script means writing. Okay, it's a noun as well. A script. Give me the script to read. So you read a script. You cannot listen to the script. Somebody else can read the script to you. That's another thing. But a script is in the writing form. So when you listen to what you listen to in the audio in the class is the audio file, not the audio script. Okay. So you listen to the audio file. You cannot listen to the audio script. You read the audio script. Okay. Great. Okay. And Rajiv has done his homework. Rani, who's Rani, Rajiv?
Ravi.
You broke my heart. I thought there was some Rani you were staying with last weekend. Imagine, guys, Rajiv was staying with Rani last weekend and then writing a thank you email. Hi, Rani. Thanks for last weekend. It was very delicious. Wow, the weekend was delicious. Okay, this is interesting. Do you notice, everyone? Rajiv writes, thanks for last weekend. It was very delicious. So it refers to what? The weekend, right? The weekend was delicious. That day, I was very happy. Which day? Because he stayed there for 2 days. So which day is he talking about? When you say that day, it means any one day, right? Day is singular. And he stayed there with Rani for 2 days. Prabhu, I will keep saying Rani, not Ravi. Okay. So he stayed there with her for 2 days, and he's saying that day I was very happy because you being with me, you being with me, because you were with me. You were with me. You were with me because you were with me. I made a plan, spelling PLAN, plan. This is plain. PLAIN is plain. Okay, that is plan. PLAN, plan. I made a plan from some time. अच्छा 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 काफी समय से plan कर रहे थे. Okay, I know. You and I go with cinema. Go to the cinema and go with cinema. Cinema के साथ जाना है. Okay. You and I go to the cinema together and watch a movie. Finally, my dream came true, Rani. Yesterday we watched a movie, Jawan. Okay, Shah Rukh Khan acting was superb. He is an amazing actor. He is an amazing actor. I am speechless. Rajiv, if you are okay now, if you are fine now, and if you can be regular, then I'll suggest either join the 7:30 batch in the morning or wait for my new class in the evening, 4:30, and try and attend these classes more regularly because you couldn't be here in the 7:30, 6 o'clock batch very regularly. You have missed a lot of classes. And I'm happy for what you have managed to learn, but you can do better, okay?
Okay, sir.
My students usually who finish the elementary level are much, much better. So you can do that. And I'm asking you to just find yourself time so that you can attend classes more regularly, either 7:30 in the morning or wait for the 4 o'clock batch in the evening, which I'm starting next month, okay?
Okay, sir.
He's an amazing actor. I'm speechless. You said that he was an action hero. I agreed with you, with your statement. This weekend did not forgot it. Guys, there is no grammar here, okay? We enjoyed, we spent time together. I miss you a lot. You come and visit me soon. Can't wait to see you again. Please email me or send a text. Lots of love, Rajiv. Okay, good. There were a lot of mistakes, but again, we can ignore them because Rajiv has not been very regular, So obviously, Afreen, Praful, I think you guys can notice a lot of mistakes Rajiv has made, right? For example, this weekend did not forget it. What does this mean? We can say, we will not forget this weekend. We will not forget this weekend, right? It was a memorable weekend. I'd like to thank my parents for giving me a nice life. Very good, Kanak. You are grateful. I'd like to thank my teachers for telling me the real meaning of life. Again, you're very grateful. I'm so pleased to get my laptop at last. Oh, great. Finally, she has a laptop, guys. I'm so pleased to get the answer at last. Yes, eventually you find the answer to every question, Kanak, whether it is about English or any other subject or life. Sometimes some questions can confuse you for a long time, but eventually you get the answer. The game he played was superior. Okay. The game was superior. I hope you understand that, Kanak Beta. We are not talking about his playing skills here, okay? We are not talking about his playing skills. The game was superior. Superior to which game, Beta? To another game that I played. Okay. The game he played was superior, better than the game I played. Okay. So here you are calling the game superior to some other game, maybe. Okay. You're not talking about his playing skills here. The design she makes is extraordinary. Beautiful sentence, girl. I know you have a lot of work, so we can meet each other. We can't meet each other until your work is finished. What a sentence, Kanakvita. I wish you continue, practicing like this, and you will notice a big change. And Kanakvita, where is your teacher Ranjit, sir? Because he has been so absent for a long time. Please get in touch with him and ask. Okay, I messaged him. No, I didn't message him, did I? Let me text him as well.
I don't know, sir, but I'll ask.
Yes, Vita,
Where is
please.
he?
Please, Vita, I'm also going to text him. Oh, I was reading. Very lovely practice, Kanak, and keep it up, Vita. I don't have my dinner until my classes are finished. Beautiful. The highest statue in India is 182 meters. Again, this is what I always wanted to see from you, Kanak, because I know your potential. You are a very, very, smart girl. And if you practice like this, then you will be one of my best students. Earlier, India was called the golden bird. Yes, exactly. However, the inverted comma beta, I would like to start it before and I would put the T in capital. India was called the golden bird. I would put the inverted comma before the, and I would make T capital as well. Okay, because the will become part of the name, the golden bird. Okay. Very good practice, and I hope other people should take a lesson from her practice. Please, Afri, no problems, leave. Her mom is not okay. Okay, beta, go, no problems. And if she's fine, come back, okay? When she's fine. So the rest of you guys, remember, practice makes perfect, okay? And I always know this, that students who are studying regularly, they improve. And I always expect things from them. Those who have been absent, irregular, they will learn when they start attending classes regularly. I want to make it very clear to you all. Learning is a natural process. You don't need to be an extraordinary person. You don't need to be a very clever person to learn a language. You need to be constantly exposed to the target language. You need to hear the target language on a daily basis, and that has an impact on you, whether you like it or not. So guys who attend the classes regularly and listen to the teacher with some intent, listen to the teacher with some seriousness, they give their attention to the class, to the teacher, they automatically improve, because I do not waste your time speaking Hindi to you. When you are here, whether you're doing your homework, you're not doing your homework, whether you're a slow learner or a quick learner, all these things become irrelevant when you are just listening to me. Most of you qualify the minimum English knowledge criteria to learn from me. Maybe your dadi or your nani who doesn't know any English sits in the class online like this, may not learn from me, okay? But you are not your dadi, you're not your nani, your English is better than your dadi and nani. And that's why you guys will benefit just by the virtue of being in the class, by virtue of being in the class, okay? You don't have to do anything special. So I'm just encouraging you all, be in the class and improve. Praful has already made big progress, okay? I noticed that. So has Afreen. I'm talking about the moment when they joined and now, okay? And there is a big change and improvement in their learning, in their English. I can say the same about Kanak as well, but Kanak needs to practice more because my expectations of Kanak are higher, So Kanak beta, you just need to spend more time practicing, listening to the audio file and writing similar sentences, and everything will be fine, okay? I want to say address Rajiv, Akhilesh, and Sandhya now, that guys, you in this class, you don't do all those typical lessons or practice that you do elsewhere in other classes. Being in the class is great, is very important, because all this conversation that I'm having at a speed that I am having, it's going to be very good for your learning, okay? You listen to me, try and understand what I'm saying, and sooner or later, all this conversation that I'm having with you will have an impact on you, okay? And this is the most crucial aspect of my class. my communication with you. In all other countries outside Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, anyone who wants to learn English joins a class, and if the teacher, not if, most of them, when they join a good class, they have English native speaker teachers who communicate with them in English throughout the class, just like I do. And because they are constantly listening to a native speaker in the class, by the time they finish their course, they are good at speaking English. When you compare classes they have at school, they are very typical classes like you guys have at your school, a non-native speaker teachers in class, focusing too hard on the grammar aspect, and majority of them speak their mother tongue of the students, and it doesn't really help. In my afternoon class, Hindi medium class, Akhilesh is there. I speak in Hindi all the time. I teach English, but I speak Hindi. It puts some students at ease that they get to hear Hindi from me, but that comfort zone is not very good for the students. So those people who want to improve their skills in English have to, first of all, convince themselves about one thing, that their listening is crucial. They need to listen a lot of English. And let's carry on, okay? Life in the city. Remember, guys, explanation and this and that, this grammar rule, that grammar rule, they are all irrelevant. Communication matters. If I come here and I tell you some story every day, like a king and a queen story, and their princess and their prince, and what happens in their lives, if I tell you their story every day, even that will help you improve your speaking skills. Okay, if I come here and tell you some movie story every day in English, even that will help you improve your English. Remember, so it is not what I'm talking about. It's which language I am using when I'm talking to you. Sorry. You see, when I'm talking to you in English, I talk about so many different things. And to talk about those different topics, I need different vocabulary, different words. And you keep being exposed to new words, new vocabulary. Today, I used the word intimidating because I was speaking English. Otherwise, I would have used some Hindi word for it. So teachers who are promising improvement in your skills and they are speaking Hindi to you, do not realize that they are not maximizing your learning. To maximize your learning, teachers need to first convince themselves that they need to speak English to the students. It is true that when a teacher speaks English to the students, in the present situation, a lot of students feel very nervous and sometimes walk out of the class. They leave the class. They leave the class because they feel that they don't understand. And when the teacher speaks Hindi, they stay there because they think they understand. But all these things are counterintuitive. What you believe is not true. What you guess, what you feel is not right. You think you're learning when your teacher is speaking Hindi to you. You think you're not learning much when your teacher speaks English to you, but it is just the other way around. You learn when your teacher speaks English to you, okay? It is also necessary that the teacher speaks standard English, correct English, and most importantly, simple English, so that you can benefit from that listening. Now I'll go back to the lesson and still talk in English, but I need something to talk about, right? And let's have this topic. The other day, I played 9.1 for you, asked you to tell me which city the sentences in the audio were about. We heard some sentences in the audio, okay, and you had to decide which city the sentences were about. Were they about London or were they about New York? Let's listen to these again. And because I shared with you the other day on Saturday, so I'm expecting this time, right or wrong, doesn't matter. I want you to say something. I want you to make a guess. 9.1. I don't want you to be silent, that's all, okay?
One.
It's on the River Thames.
So when you hear the line, it's on the River Thames, and you have to decide whether the sentence is about London or about New York. So you will say, sir, London is on River Thames. Sir, New York is on River Thames. Whatever you feel, right? The sentence was, sir, it's on River Thames. If you understand the sentence, then you respond. Yes, sir, London is on River Thames. Sir, New York is on River Thames. You could be factually incorrect, but your English is correct, right? And we are here to learn English, the language, not general knowledge. So shall I expect you guys to respond? You think you will respond to my next sentence? The next sentence that I play? Ready, guys?
2.
It was first called New Amsterdam.
I will repeat once more for you. It was first called New Amsterdam. Go ahead, Praful. Kanak.
Yes, sir. London was called New Amsterdam.
There was a word. London was first. It was first called. It means not now, when it was made. Okay, when the city came into being, then it was called New Amsterdam. It was first called New Amsterdam. So either it is about London or it is about New York. You could make your statement. I think London was first called New Amsterdam. I think New York was first called New Amsterdam.
3.
It's sometimes called the Big Apple.
Go ahead. Kanaku, you can also participate. Sweetie? Don't give
I
up.
think London sometimes called the New Big Apple.
Okay, the Big Apple. There is no new beta. The Big Apple. Okay.
4.
It's home to Wembley Stadium.
I'm waiting.
I think London is home to Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
5.
It has 5,800 skyscrapers.
Yeah. New York has 500,
5,800
5,000.
skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are very tall buildings, by the way. Those who don't understand the word skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are buildings which are at least 50 meters tall.
6.
The highest building is 310 meters.
Go ahead.
I think the highest building in New York is 300.
Okay. Very good, sweetie.
7,
The people living there speak 800 different languages.
The people living there speak 800 different languages. Silence is all right if you are using the silence to process the information. You know, I never ask my students to be in a hurry. Take your time and respond. The people living there speak 800 different languages.
The people live in New York.
Living, the
Yes, sir.
people living in New York,
The people living in New York speak
800
different
different
languages.
languages.
8,
Paddington Bear went to stay there.
Paddington Bear went to stay there. Of course, we do not know the answer to this, but we have to make a guess. I think whoever this guy was, Paddington Bear, I think he went to stay in London. I don't know. Okay, let's listen. Let's find out.
9.2. Listen and check.
Mm.
1,
London is on the River Thames.
London is on River Thames,
2.
not New York.
New York was first called New Amsterdam.
New York was first called New Amsterdam, not
3.
London.
New York is sometimes called the Big Apple.
New York is sometimes called the Big Apple,
4.
not London.
London is home to Wembley Stadium.
London is home to Wembley Stadium, not New
5.
York.
New York has 5,800 skyscrapers.
New York has these many skyscrapers, not
6.
London.
The highest building in London is 310 meters.
Yeah, the highest building in London.
7,
Okay.
The people living in New York speak 800 different languages.
The people living in New York speak so many
8.
languages, not London.
Paddington Bear went to stay in London.
Okay, Paddington Bear went to stay in London, not in New York. Okay. Paddington Bear. I don't know who this guy was. Okay. Must be somebody interesting, somebody special in history. But because we don't know much about the English history, we are not familiar with this name. And it has zero relevance to our language learning, right? Okay. I will share 9.2 as well with you guys so that you can practice with the help of 9.1 and 9.2 later. How these sentences were made as in a response to the sentences in 9.1. And now, London and New York, the comparison. Listen to the conversation. Read and listen to the conversation. 9.3, everyone.
9.3. Which do you prefer?
Which do you prefer, London or New York?
Well, I'm American, so of course I love New York more.
I think London's more interesting. And it's a lot bigger than New York.
True, New York is much smaller than London, but the buildings are so much taller, and for me, that's more exciting.
I guess the weather's better in New York.
Well, people think so, but it's worse than London for rain.
Really?
Let's listen to it again.
9.3. Which do you prefer?
Which do you prefer, London or New York?
Well, I'm American, so of course I love New York more.
I think London's more interesting. And it's a lot bigger than New York.
True, New York is much smaller than London, but the buildings are so much taller, and for me, that's more exciting.
I guess the weather's better in New York.
Well, people think so, but it's worse than London for rain.
Really?
From listening and reading this conversation, what did you learn about London and New York? What can you say when you compare the two cities?
London is bigger than New York.
London is bigger than New York, right? Okay. Any other sentence you can say about London and New York?
London is more interesting.
London is more interesting is a fact or an individual's opinion? Is it a fact or is it an individual's opinion?
Individual opinion.
Right. Somebody believes that London is more interesting. I am very sure that there are people in this world who believe New York is more interesting and they prefer to live in New York. Right? Next. Any other statement you can make about London and New York, guys?
London's weather is
New
From the-
York has taller buildings than London.
New York has taller buildings. Okay, than London. All right. Very good. Okay. That's right. The buildings in New York are taller. Absolutely. Okay. If you guys notice, you are not saying big anymore. You're not saying tall anymore. Rajiv, Akhilesh, Sandhya. Notice the word that you have always known, big and tall, we're not using them. We are saying London is bigger than New York. And we are saying that the buildings in New York are taller. Okay, we're not saying big or tall. Why is that? Why are we not saying big or tall? Why are we saying bigger and taller? Why are we changing the form of the adjective? New York,
Because comparatively,
yes, Rajiv, right.
But comparison, comparison to one or another thing.
We are comparing two things, okay? We are comparing two things, okay? We are making comparison, okay? That's why. So in English, when we compare, then the adjective changes its form, okay? We say New York is smaller than London. New York is small than London. We don't say New York is small than London. We say New York is smaller than London. Okay. So first of all, practice the conversation with a partner, and then I will explain and talk more about it. Okay. First of all, you guys need to practice. So let me open the breakout rooms for you. Practice. Ruffle. Yes. Right, everybody. So you practiced. Did you notice that in your practice, you did not use the typical adjectives as you knew them? You changed their forms slightly because you were comparing. So when we make comparison in English between two objects, two things, two people, we do not use the regular adjective, as we know. We change them into the comparative form. So let's look at the sentences we have here. I think London is more interesting. London is interesting. London is more interesting. London is a lot bigger. Bigger. London is big. London is a lot bigger than New York. New York is much smaller than London. New York is much smaller than London. But the buildings are taller. And for me, that's more exciting. Tall buildings. I guess the weather is better in New York. The weather in New York is better. Well, people think so, but it's worse than London for rain. New York is worse than London for rain. Really? Now, one thing we notice that here when we compare in English, we use comparative adjectives. The adjectives are not in their regular positive form. What we have known, big, tall, small, exciting, interesting, they look different. So first of all, write the comparative forms here. Write the comparative forms. When we compare, which form do we use? Instead of big, we use bigger. Instead of exciting, we use answer, please.
More exciting.
More exciting. I would expect everybody to answer because it is right there in the conversation. They did not use the word exciting, they used more exciting to compare. Small, what is the comparative form? When we use the word small for comparison, it doesn't remain small, it changes to
A smaller.
and similar. Now, interesting becomes
More interesting.
more interesting. So all my students now will apply their common sense and think, what's going on? Why are we changing some adjective to the comparative form by adding ER?
More interesting.
Sometimes we are adding ER, bigger, smaller, and sometimes we are not adding ER. We are not saying exciting year, excitinger, interestinger. We are not doing that. We are saying more exciting, more interesting. How do we decide? What's the rule? Is there a pattern? Is there a rule? When do we add ER and when do we use more exciting, more interesting? Can we say more tall? Can we say more tall, guys? I'm more tall than you. Is that right? Or I'm
No,
taller
sir.
than you? Which is
Taller
correct?
than you.
Yes.
Taller than you.
Right. Why?
Because it has only one syllable.
Yes, correct, you remember. Yes, sweetie? I think it is upstairs. हाँ मेरे ख्याल से ऊपर जाना होगा बेटा आपको. Okay. See, big has only one vowel sound. Small has only one vowel sound. Tall has only one vowel sound. So when an adjective has only one vowel sound, then we add ER to make the comparative. And when an adjective has more than one vowel sound, as you can see in exciting, 3 vowel sounds, interesting, 4 vowel sounds. So you can use more before them. So the adjectives with one vowel sound will take ER. And there are some irregular ones which do not follow this rule. Good changes into better randomly. Why does it become better? It doesn't follow the rule. It just becomes better. Bad becomes worse, WORSE, in the comparative form. So these are random changes, no logic, no patterns. That's why they're called irregular adjectives. So now I would like you guys to think of the comparative form here. I'll be right back. You guys, in your mind, try and change these adjectives in the comparative form. Which form will you use when you are using them to make comparison between two nouns? Okay, I'll be right back. Carry on. So, what's the comparative form of tall?
Taller,
And expensive?
more expensive.
Expensive.
And right, because we have 1, 2, 3 vowel sound. Expensive. Okay. So more expensive. Cheap.
cheaper,
Cheaper. Because cheap has 1 vowel sound. E. So cheaper. Hot.
hotter,
Hotter. And we say with double T. Okay. We write it with double T, not we say. We write it with double T. We can't say it with double T. We write it with double T. Hotter. Hotter. Okay. Next. Cold.
older,
Colder. Wet.
Wetter.
Wetter.
waiter,
Wetter. Okay. Double Ter. Nice.
Nicer.
Other people have gone quiet.
nicer,
Okay. Nice has 1 vowel sound. Nice. Okay. Has 1 vowel sound. So the comparative will be Akhilesh will not speak. Akhilesh, kahe nahi bol rahe bhai? Rajiv?
Nicer.
Yeah, I know why some people are not saying anything because they have never heard the word nicer. तो मुंह पे आता ही नहीं तो सुना नहीं है. But follow the rule. Nice, nicer, friendly.
more friendly,
Okay.
Friendlier.
Normally, when you have an adjective with a Y at the end, then you change that Y into IER. You change that Y into IER. Friendlier, okay? Normally, that is how we change an adjective into the comparative. Crowded,
More crowded.
more crowded. Because you have 2 vowel sounds, crowded. Okay, polite,
More polite.
More polite.
more polite, right? Beautiful,
more beautiful,
More beautiful.
old,
older,
older,
good,
waiter,
better, not wetter, better. Better, BE, better. Akhilesh, say better.
Better.
Yes. Bad,
Rose.
worse, 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 worse. Bharat worse.
Worse.
Okay. Worse, yes. Now, what do I say? Okay, these are comparative adjectives, right? We use them to make comparison. So if I have to make a comparison between Rajiv and Praful, and I have to use the word old, then what will I say? Rajiv is older than Praful, or Praful is older than Rajiv, which is true. I don't know.
Purple is older than me, sir. Purple is older. Purple
Okay.
is older than me. Really, sir, I am true. I am true, sir.
You are telling me the truth. Praful is
Yes,
older
sir.
than you. Okay.
Yes.
So you,
My body is very fat is because I think sir, I so very look like a man,
you
but
look older. You look older
yes,
than him. You look
but
older than
he
him. But he
he is
is
thin,
old.
sir, but Praful is thin
Yes.
than me. So he is smarter
Uh,
than
uh,
me.
he looks smarter than you because he
Yes.
is slimmer.
Yes.
Okay. Akhilesh, Rajiv is saying that Praful looks smarter than him because he is slimmer than him. And the fact is, Praful is older than Rajiv. but Rajiv is slightly fatter, that's why he looks older. But he is not older than Praful. He looks older, right, Rajiv?
Yes, sir.
Now, how many people believe Rajiv? I want to believe Rajiv. Praful, I want to believe him. So both of
Yes,
you put your birth certificate in the group so that we can decide who is older. Okay. Now, um, uh, Sandhya, you have two more sisters, or only one more sister? You have one sister or two sisters, Sandhya?
Two sister.
You have two sisters. What are their names?
Sonal Sia, sir.
Tia, one, and Sonal, another.
No, sir. Sonal Sia.
Sonal Sia is the name of one girl, right? So you have only one sister, Sandhya.
Hmm.
Okay, Sandhya has a sister. Now, is that sister older or younger? Taller than you, shorter than you?
Shorter.
She is
Than me.
shorter than you.
Yep.
And is she older than you or younger than you? Is she older than you or younger than you?
Sir, younger than me.
She is younger than you and she's shorter than you. All right. Okay. Good. So you have only one sister, not two sisters. Don't count yourself as your sister. Okay. So comparative adjectives are very useful when we compare two places or two people or two things. Then we cannot use these adjectives. We call them positive adjectives like hot, cold, good, friendly, crowded, expensive. This form is called positive form, positive degree. Okay. And the second form, the comparative form, is called the comparative degree. Okay. Fine. We can have some more practice. Take a look at some of the things in London and New York. These are two buildings. One is the Freedom Tower in picture A, and picture B, the Shard. C, I think this is the underground in New York. D, we are talking about perhaps the weather here. Look at these photos, okay? These people are in London because we can see the building, London building here. The Buckingham Palace. And there are parks here, people are in the parks, and people, okay. So you have some photos here about the buildings, about the train, about the weather, about the park, about the people, and you have some words here. So basically, we are asking you to compare London and New York. Okay. Use, I think, and the adjectives in brackets. What is your opinion? The Shard and the Freedom Tower, tall, beautiful in this aspect. When you look at these two buildings, what do you realize? Or what do you feel? What do you think? कौन ज़्यादा सुंदर है? Which building is more beautiful? Yeah, which building is more beautiful?
The sword is
The shard is more beautiful. Does everybody agree?
No, sir. The Freedom Tower is more beautiful.
You think the Freedom Tower is more beautiful. It's an opinion because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. You know, everybody looks at things and has their own opinion about how beautiful those things are. But which do you think is taller? Which
Yes,
building is taller?
God is taller
The
than
Freedom Tower.
Freedom Tower.
Shard is taller than the Freedom Tower. Okay. All right. You know, in England, they have the underground. Sorry, I forgot. I by chance said earlier that the underground is in the US. The underground is in London and the subway is in New York. So what's your opinion? Because I know you do not know much about these two train systems, okay, railway systems. So make an opinion. Give me your opinion. The subway is in the US, in New York. The underground is in London. So you have the words like expensive, cheap, crowded. Ask me, forget about it. Ask me, okay? Sir,
London was very crowded, sir.
we are not talking about London. We are talking about the subway, the train system, and the underground, the train system in London. Okay, so what do you think if you have to compare the subway and the underground? I know this comparison doesn't make sense for you because you guys are totally ignorant of these two. Okay, let's move on from there. We can come back to that later. The parks, you know, New York has parks, London has parks. What do you think about the parks? What do you think about the parks in London and the parks in New York? You have an opinion? May not be right, actually, but just give me your opinion. People? लंदन का पार्क ज्यादा बड़ा है, something like that, maybe you will say. The parks in London are bigger. The parks in London are bigger. Maybe you can say, I think the parks in London are bigger. The parks in London. ये वाला phrase मुश्किल हो रहा है बोलना. The parks in London. Or London parks. Simply say London parks. The London parks are bigger. The London parks means the parks in London. Okay. Practice like this about the two cities, or maybe you can use the comparative adjective to practice other people and things in your life as well. Practice a little bit in the group, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Like you practiced yesterday, Kanak, you know, whatever we study, just have some practice, you know, and that will be very, very good for you guys. So write some sentences in the group. I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay. Let's end the class for today. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice day.
Yes, sir.